Hey, and welcome to the my first ever episode of our Arrowverse Recap show. I decided to do something for my channel because it's not really doing anything. So I thought, why not do an Arrowverse Recap show? Because Jason Inman put the call out to try and get more Arrowverse shows out there. So I decided to take it up. And I'll probably get a random guest every now and then. It's probably not going to be the same panel, but this week I've got Richard here. Richard, how are you going?
Oh, I am good. I am looking forward to doing some Arrowverse talk. I love the Arrowverse. Love everything about the Arrowverse. So I'm looking forward to it.
And also I've got Zedius here. Zedius, how are you feeling?
Yo, man, I'm feeling good, feeling great. Glad to be talking about some Arrowverse shows again. Yo, looking forward to it, and especially what we've had so far. So I'll keep my opinions in for the time being.
But yeah, this first show will probably be a little bit longer than what I planned, just because we are talking about all the episodes that have been, which for some series it's 5, for Arrow it's only been 4. So it's going to be a long live discussion, but we'll try and keep it as condensed as possible. But yeah, with 4 shows and doing all the episodes up to now, it's going to take a while, but we'll do it. And I'm going to kick off with the new kid on the block, Batwoman. Batwoman is one of those shows which I didn't know what to think about when it came on, because there's been a lot of criticism, like the writing is all over the place. But it aired. We got the first few episodes sort of showing her in the classic Batman one, making everyone think that Batman has returned. It wasn't until about the 3rd or 4th episode where she finally got the classic outfit we see the Elseworlds crossover. And also we got a tweet out from the showrunner saying that the series Batwoman has caught up with where she is Elseworlds timeline wise, so they're officially at the same time as all the other shows are. But Richard, what do you think of the Batwoman so far?
I enjoyed it. Like, it's okay. It was a good start to it. It wasn't like amazing like some of the other shows for the opening pilots have been. Um, it was a little all over the place at times. Like, they're doing the flashback off at like where. I mean, I enjoyed a lot of the characters. I like the actress that plays the half sister. Like, I think like it's funny. Her character, like, half the time I think she's annoying. Half the time she's like awesome. I think that's just her character. And I like the actress that plays Alice, because she was also the actress that was in Birds of Prey in the original show. So I think that was kind of cool that she's kind of coming back to the comic book realm. But overall, I enjoyed the episode. It wasn't like super memorable like the pilot episode for the Flash or Arrow was, but it was a good start.
Zedius, what do you sort of think of the Batwoman series for the first 5 episodes?
You know what? So far, so good. It could be a lot worse, which is not. And it again, like Richard said, hasn't been the strongest first 5 episodes of one of these CW series yet, but it's a good show so far. And Ruby Rose has grown on me, because I believe the first 2 episodes, there were some times he was trying to convey emotion, which just felt kind of dry. Like, I can't believe this is happening. You're here. I can't believe you're back. I'm like, I'm gonna need a little bit, put some soul into it. And I think she's grown over these last couple episodes. But I've kind of felt a little nonchalant about Kate Kane. I've liked Batwoman a lot. And again, also like Richard said, I'm been a big fan of Alice. Alice and the actress who plays her, Rachel Skarsten, has done a great job. So overall show so far so good. Could be better, but it definitely could be a lot worse too.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's like, while it's not been the strong one, I'm going to finish the show sort of out to the end, because I mean, with the first series of Supergirl, I I had the same feeling to that I'm having for this one. It's like it didn't, and if it takes really kicks off in the second season with and actually steps it up, then I want to see it. I really hope in the crossover we see Rachel Scarsden as a Birds of Prey character as well, because it'll be a wasted opportunity not to incorporate that somehow.
Exactly.
But yeah, they've brought in some classic Batman villains. Like a few episodes ago, we had Hush. Magpie was in last week. This week we've got a more extensive sort of look into Alice. But Zadius, what do you think about the fact that they've brought in Hush to Batwoman? Is there any other potential Batman villains, or do you like to see?
You know what? As far as again, villains so far, villains of the year so far so good. But as far as some that I would love to see more. There's this new kid, and I'm just saying we can go full spoilers, right?
Yeah.
This new kid Johnny. I think that's the guy's name that or what Beth / Alice is calling him is Mouse. I'm really wondering what is he gonna grow up to be, because the fact that he's taking people's faces, of course, dead people's faces, or dead people's skin, and creating faces for him. I'm like, who could he end up being? So I'm very intrigued by this possibility, like, because it's exciting, because I feel like he's gonna end up being like something like Clayface, but not going all complete, turning into mud. But I feel like he'll be some type of shapeshifter or some type of master in disguise. He just needs to build his character a little bit more, I believe, with Mouse. But as far as the other characters, I would think would be very interested to see. This is the Batman world. This is the Batman world, but Batwoman show. So even though I doubt we'll see Mr. Freeze in the show, but since we're caught up with Elseworlds, I expect to see Nora Freeze some way, somehow. So I really would love to see that. She's my number one prospect right now.
Richard, what do you think of the Hush, Magpie, and Allison? So, what other villains would you like to see pop up?
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, the most notable Batman villains we've already gotten from in the Arrow show, because that's what the original OG. Let's take from
That's
Batman
true.
villains, put in the Arrow. I kind of want to see Poison Ivy. I think that'd be kind of interesting in that aspect. I would like to see like some Batman villains we haven't necessarily seen on TV, like we've seen in the animated, but like not necessarily. I would love to see. I forgot what it's called. The dude with the ventriloquist puppet. I would love to see that. The villain from Batman
Scarface, yeah.
Yeah, Scarface. I would love to see him on there. Hush and Magpie were fun. They were good. They're kind of like throwaway villains, unfortunately, which was like, unfortunate, but it is what it is. What they want to do to set up for Batwoman, they want to keep the intrigue for the show as possible, so get some people you might recognize. I definitely want to see Nora Freeze. I agree. I want to see Nora Freeze come back. This is Batwoman, so probably get some more female villains in there. Kind of want to see Harley Quinn, but I doubt it's going to happen because, with the movies. But, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Because of the movies is why I'm pretty sure we're not going to be seeing Bruce Wayne or Batman return to Gotham at all. Because I mean, with how we'll probably touch on this more.
Who I actually would like to see, though, but not necessarily a Batman villain. I think so. That was my thing. I mean, that would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we'll probably touch on this more when we get to Supergirl. But the reason I believe that they let Superman on to appear on Supergirl is because they've got no plans for the movies anymore for Superman, which is sad. But I mean, that's kind of the honest truth at this stage.
Well,
but
he's getting his own show now, so
yeah.
Well, I was getting to that as well. But we'll touch on that more a little bit. We'll touch on that more a little bit later. But for me, I did like what they did with Hush, and I think they've got plans for him to be a longer, pop up more times throughout the series. So that will be a lot of interesting. And as for villains, if you remember in the Elseworlds crossover, which was actually rewatched that this morning because I wanted to. On the cells in Arkham, you do see the names of Oswald Cobblepot, Enigma, and all that. So we might, provided that those villains are still alive and still in the cells, then they may do an episode in which there's a massive breakout, which will lead to Nora coming back, and we'll maybe seeing Cobblepot and all that as well. So that could be interesting if that ever happens. But some of those, once again, I don't think will happen because of the movies. Rich, do you have any final thoughts about Batwoman?
I mean, it's out of the 5 episodes we've seen, it's not terrible. It's just, it's always I give shows first season a little break because they're still trying to find their rhythm on their show. Like, it's really hard to pick up a season and be like amazing all throughout. So I'm always going to give it a slack. It's a good start, and I just realized I really want to see this all goal on Batwoman some way or somehow.
Yeah, we go to. This is anti. Why not? I'm sorry.
It's all right. I was going to throw it to you next anyway. Yes.
But yeah, I kind of, when it comes to shows the first season, you gotta give them a break a little bit. And I always give shows at least one season in that first episode of the second season, because shows like Gotham and especially Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show me that it can definitely pick up the next season, or even possibly later in the first season, because we know something big is coming Batwoman's way eventually later this year. So how she interacts with the Crisis storyline and what happens after Crisis to Batwoman's Gotham, I think it's super intriguing, and I can't wait. So I'm liking the show. So I'm liking the show so far. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I don't really have a lot of closing thoughts on this. I've kind of said all I want to say about the show. But one thing I do say is, I didn't touch on him much, but I really do like the character of Luke Fox sort of being the tech genius and being the reluctant man behind the curtains, apparently, because he really did not want to help.
That's true.
But
he's been a good
real quick about women. How old is Batman supposed to be? Like 30s? That was because before the Elseworlds crossover, I thought they were roughly the same age, cousin wise, and then turns out he was an adult when she was a little girl, so now I'm confused with the age.
Yeah, I don't know sort of how old Batman is supposed to be in this world. So, but we move on from Batwoman to Supergirl. This is I've really been loving this season of Supergirl, because and just in the first 5 episodes, we've had a lot of revelations.
That's true.
We've got the mystery reporter William, which turns out to be not such a bad guy after all. We've got the new Catco's been sold to Andreas. We had James leave. Eve is now an android. And I'm going to butcher this name, but Malefic, or John's brother, is causing trouble now, teamed up with Lena, who's looks like it's going to be a massive big team up for the end. But Zedius, what do you think of Supergirl this season?
Ooh. You brought up some highlights of the show so far. I think digging in deeper into Malefic's story and how we did into his psyche in the earlier episodes was very interesting. the story in general, though, the show so far. I mean, well, bright sides. Again, I like what they did with James. I've heard some negative feedback with what they did with him, but I think what he did, he found his calling, and I'm okay with that. And I'm glad to see how. I'm glad. I was kind of worried of how he was going to exit the show, but I thought they were going to might kill him off or something. But no, he just moved. He just moved to a different town and trying to help better another community. And I'm sorry, his name's not James anymore. He said, "Call me Jimmy." But as far as everything else in the show, it's been kind of dull to me, and I hate to say it because I think Supergirl has had two great seasons in a row. Before this, I liked the season 3 with the whole Reign and the World Cup storyline, and I loved the Children of Liberty and Age of Liberty storyline from last year, and of course my boy Manchester Black. Hope he comes back. But this season so far has been kind of a bust with me a little bit. It hasn't been horrible, but it hasn't given me any incentive to like, oh, I need to make sure I'm at my TV at 8 o'clock to make sure I watch this week's episode of Supergirl. I'm like, I'll just catch on the rerun, and I'm not necessarily sure exactly why that is. The William Day character, he's okay, but I kind of feel like there was always a backstory to him a little bit, and and that twist that happened in this past week with Rip Roar being his old friend, kind of saw that coming. But overall, yeah, so far this season.
Richard, what do you sort of feel about Supergirl this season?
It's okay. The most memorable thing for me, honestly, is when Supergirl said pants. Like, I mean, it's good. Like, I mean, the problem with this season so far is there's too much going on. They're doing way too many stories. They're dealing with the Nia Brainy situation, the whole Lena Eve, ripping off Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Vision type of deal. We've seen it before, a computer becoming like human. We've seen that. There's just a lot going on. John's brother, I like that storyline going. William, again, is just like, he's okay. I kind of figure he wasn't going to be obviously the big, like a bad guy. Like, he's coming off as a jerk. It's turning out. I mean, it's good. It's okay. It's nothing great. Like, honestly, like, there's really hasn't been a memorable episode of Supergirl yet, with the exception of her saying pants. And Jimmy, like, it's I like
kind of piggyback of.
Oh, sorry. I'll go.
No, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say to kind of piggyback up what you said of how they're introducing the odd things that Obsidian Tech, and how you mentioned how they're kind of ripping off Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a little bit. Imitation is sometimes the sincerest form of flattery, because I think that season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a great season. So there's potential to see what can happen with the framework. I'm sorry, with Obsidian Tech and Supergirl. So it could be it could turn out to be very well. This could maybe be the baby steps to a great season.
I will say, though, the one thing I don't like about the season, what I haven't liked when it comes to the Supergirl show itself, is they don't like talking about the other shows like Arrow, Flash, Legends, with the exception of when the crossover actually happens. And that's the thing that I didn't like. They always try to distance themselves from the other shows, where the other shows like to incorporate her in the other shows. And like right now, it's like, how is Supergirl connecting to Elseworlds right now? We haven't had really a connection to this season as we have for the other two shows.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
And that's my problem with Supergirl. Like, it's always tries to be by itself only, and likes to tag along when it comes to crossovers.
Yeah, I mean, well, I do get that. I think the reason is because it is supposed to be another Earth, I think. And I think that's the reason they don't often refer to the other shows as much as they would like. But I do have a theory, and I'll get to that at the end. But when after I talk about this, for me, I'm with you guys. I haven't been enjoying this as much as I normally do. And the too many storylines isn't much of an issue for me. It's the fact that Kara has seemed to have taken somewhat of a back seat to the Martian story, to the whole storyline about the Malefic going over, and for the main character to kind of take a back seat to her own show is kind of bizarre to me, but I mean, and it's one of those ones which it's happened, but and it's just going to be one of those things that we'll have to deal with. But my theory for all that, for the fact they're trying to put a closure, that is, we know that Supergirl is kicking off the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. So my theory is that at the start of the crossover, her Earth is going to be destroyed, forcing her to flee and take a bunch of people with her. And she ends, and that puts her on the same Earth as Arrow, Flash, and all that. And the back half of the season will be her dealing with her new life. With maybe she finds her way to National City on Earth 2, and then sort of make friends. Something to that effect. I don't know sort of how I would do that, but Zedius, what do you think of that theory that Earth 38 is going to be destroyed after the crossover?
That would be very interesting, and I wouldn't put it past. The producers this season, especially not after one of our earlier shows. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, that would be very interesting. They destroyed Earth 38, and I'm trying to see how could they. I mean, I guess she could rescue people, but I mean, she's Supergirl, but I feel like there would have to be some casualties in Supergirl, if the Earth 38 was to be destroyed. So, is it bad to say now that I kind of want this now? Like, I would really like to see this, and even if it's not a car going back to Earth 1 and like living out the rest of her days there, I think it just makes me more interested in seeing what the post-crisis Earths are going to look like, again, post-crisis. So,
yeah,
what is the world going to look like after then? Because I think we're going to kind of uncharted territory. I know we've been there in the comments, but we're going into uncharted territory in regards to these shows, which is exciting as all hell.
Yeah, and I mean, as we learned from the Elseworlds crossover, is that Alex Stanvis is on Earth 1, because that's the one that was kind of rewritten into there was because I think they specifically said that was supposed to be the Earth 1 version of Alex, one that's never met Kara. So, but yeah, Richard. So, what do you think of my theory that Earth 38 will be destroyed at the start of Crisis?
It's either that, or they're just going to merge all the Earths together, the remaining Earths, and it's just going to be one Earth. That's how it is in the comics. And I mean, honestly, like, I think that's going to be the best bet, because, I mean, again, there's another show that's going to come in. It's in the developments now. It's been confirmed. That's related to Supergirl's Earth, like I already kind of discussed. So I think it's a very possibility. My personal opinion is, like, my guess is, like, to save the Infinite Crisis, like, they have to merge the Earths together, or the remaining Earths, and that's how it's going to deal with. I don't know how that's going to work, but that was just my guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is, I mean, I think one of the main criticisms when it comes to Supergirl is the fact that she is separate from the other Earths, and the fact that it's almost impossible for her to appear on the other shows as so much. I mean, even though she's got the whatever the tachyon thing that I don't know can't remember what they called it. But,
the extrapolator.
Yeah, to transport over. She's never had a reason to go visit Flash or visit Oliver. Because it's not like, oh yeah, I need to go have a cup of tea with Oliver. Let's go. I'll just pop
I
over.
wouldn't necessarily hear her visiting, but like the fact there's never any mention of Barry or Oliver. Like, you would think there'd be a mention of the musical episode in her show, because that was fun. I love that episode, me personally.
I mean, it's. I mean, I think it's one of those ones like, well, yeah, there hasn't been a mention. They haven't mentioned them, but then again, they haven't had a reason to mention them. It's not like it's like Barry Allen is always coming up in conversation over on Supergirl's Earth just casually.
Well, I mean, Grant Cousins a cutie. How can you not mention him? I mean, there's no mention of Bebo on her show. How dare? I guess there's no Bebo on Earth 38.
That's true. Which is a shame.
And apparently, Supergirl's the only Earth that doesn't have a big belly burger. Have not seen a big belly burger over there either.
That's a very good point.
I mean, if it's like it, a lot of franchises in the world, maybe you can only find Big Belly Burger in Star City and Central City, which Supergirl's never visited on her Earth. So
that's true.
But yeah, I mean, well, I think we're all aware that Supergirl's kind of been a mess at the moment. No sort of clear idea of where they're going. But any final words on Supergirl, Richard?
I mean, like I said, like it wasn't as so far. It's not as nearly as good as last season's was. But I will say, I kind of I was on fence with the new outfit, but I actually really like the outfit now. The new suit. Like my biggest problem with the suit originally was like it looks like a onesie wetsuit. Like at least kind of wish it had like a bottom like separate, but like it grew on me. I actually enjoy the suit more than when it started out.
Yeah. And ZS, any final words on Supergirl?
Finally, I'll say again, kind of echoing Richard's point. I do like the new season, especially how it like just extrapolates on her and stuff. When she takes off the glasses, the suit comes on. Even though the mechanics of that kind of wonky, but overall, it can be better, and hopefully it will be better. And I will say I am liking what Lena's doing, even though I felt like she was a little bit close to becoming whiny at some point. But I think she's kind of gotten back on track. I think it was last week's episode, or maybe the week before, where she kind of had the cart I think she's digging into her Lucha side, when she had Carl, when she manipulated Carl to, I think, still lets his journals to further her own gain. Yet she poured her on very well, and that was like I saw a little bit of Michael Rosenbaum less in that. So I'm liking that a little bit. I like Morley, Kylie, Katie McGrath. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying this this season myself. I don't know when that's going to turn up, but I think later on in the series we're going to be meeting Brady's sister, also played by his real life sister.
Oh wow! Okay.
I mean, that's what I've heard, but I tried to find something to back it up, but I couldn't. So.
Also, shout out to Phil Lamar, because it's dope that they have him cast as the human form of Malefic. I'm about to call him Malefic. Malefic, I think is his name. Yeah, that's cool.
Let me guess, you've been trying to say Maleficent half the
I
time.
was so cool. I was like, we will not have Disney shut down this stream today. No, sir.
I don't know.
Why can't it be the evil shapeshifter Bob? That would just be easier.
True.
I mean, the first time I tried pronouncing the name, I think I ended up saying Malekith, but there's a whole different universe.
Yeah.
But now we're going to move on into another set. We're going to move it over into the Flash, and this season of the Flash, it's been one of those ones which it's been a weird one, but all in all, I've enjoyed this. We've had a lot of different things happen. Like we had the new big bad sort of pop up, which is played by Dr. Surinder Mahesh from Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to pronounce his real name, so good luck. But yeah.
But yeah, once again, it's been one that hasn't really had a lot of big moments, sort of when it comes to the big bad. Like a lot of the season of the Flash has been more. I've got to prepare my team before the crisis. I think, and I think that's how they've broken up this season of Flash. It's like, well, we don't know what's going on after, so won't try to set up too much that will set up the big bad, but we're not going to do too much with them just yet. Because we've definitely had some good moments with that. We had we saw Jay Garrick again, and when he we actually see Supergirl. Well, I don't think we see. No, we only see Barry die in that, but we see a potential future with Jay Garrick and his wife, who's not Barry's mum but is still Barry's mum. But and we had and we found out that Gypsy's dead, which is sad, but it's also one of those ones which I wish it happened in another way, but I'll get to that. Richard, what do you think of this season of Flash so far?
I'm really liking the Frost story arc. I like the fact that she's now she's gonna be she's gonna be in season 1, it's gonna be her persona rather than Caitlin this time. That's a cool thing. I like the Ralph Dibny arc so far. I always love Ralph. When it comes to the big bad number 1, because there are 2 big bads this season, this big bad's only lasting half a season, so he's not the main. There's 2 big bads this season in the Flash, so this is not going to be the whole big bad for the whole throughout the show. So far, it's just okay. He's coming off a little whiny, oh, my mom didn't try to fight. Wah, wah, wah. How dare she be happy with a terminal disease and not let it bring her down? So that's kind of the weak part of it. And I mean, there's been funny moments. There's been good moments in the season, but again, comparing to another show we'll be talking about after this, I think it's the fact that the other show has been so good is bringing the other 3 shows kind of down. Again, I felt bad when Gypsy died, especially I like the actress Jessica Camacho. She's awesome. And the only reason she left the show is because she was on the other show Shooter, which got canceled. So I thought she was gonna be coming back, but nope. Again, it's all being prepped. Right now, like Malcolm said, it's all being prepped for Barry just training the rest of the team without him. And I have a theory of how Barry's not gonna die. And I'll wait for that till if you want me to wait, or I can say what my theory is now.
I mean, you can say it now. You can say it now if you want.
I mean, the only thing that the monitor has said so far is to save the multiverse, the Flash must die. He's not said Barry Allen. He says the Flash, and we have known 2 other Flashes that existed: Earth 90s Flash and Jay Garrick. So I think it's going to be one of those 2 people who are going to bite the dust instead of him.
Sadius, what do you feel about the Flash so far?
First of all, I 100% agree with Richard on that, because I think it'll probably be Jay, even though I can see we F90 Flash coming back, but I feel like it would just, it's the Flash's MO to make us care about the character, to see 2 characters care about each other, and then to kill the older character off. So I would not be surprised to see Jay Garrick end up sacrificing his life for Barry. But so I'm I would not, because like you said, all the money said the Flash must.
I agree with that hashtag, by the way. Give Ralph his own show. Yeah. I agree with that hashtag.
Very true. Very true. But I'm liking the Flash so far. It's mainly because it's crisis. It's the crisis prep show. Again, we've had Dr. Suresh become Dr. Ramses and try to. He has been a little bit whiny. He does, I understand your mom passed away, but try to put yourself in your mom's shoes. He was just trying to find peace in probably a illness that was causing her pain. Don't be mad about that. Respect her decisions. I understand you want to save your own life, but dude, do it in a different way. So he's kind of a little iffy, because I think his character is named Bloodwork eventually, but that's okay. But another thing, echoing what Richard said, I've loved that. I like Ralph's story and his investigation, even his kind of own episode earlier this season. But I'm really, really, really liking that Killer Frost is our character, and not saying that Caitlin was a bad character at all, but I think these past 2 seasons have really shown the gravitas. That's not where I use it very much, but the gravitas is Killer Frost's character. I mean, we had the Killer Frost family last year and last season, and I think this season she's taking the reins and she's trying to again live her life, and I think it was so powerful. And it was episode 4 when you could see how she kind of started rebelling. I think it was episode 4 or episode 3 when once she learned about Crisis, how I think she said herself she just started living, and how it's sucked that she's gonna have to give up this life now that she's just started living, and it just shows that she's been a character for. I'm not sure how old Caitlin is, but she's been a sentient being for all those years. But this is the first time she's actually been able to live her life, and despite being somebody that was that was introduced as an evil character, she's a soul, and she's actually been redeemed a lot. So, right, I'm liking.
Frost drawing that picture was the funniest thing ever. That whole scene with Cisco and Frost in that picture.
Mm-hmm. And I did hate to see that Gypsy got killed off the way she did, but I am liking that Cisco's relationship with Camilla. So I mean, they're doing well. So overall, I think Flash has been very crisis prep so far, and prepping the team for Barry's disappearance, even going so far as to create an AI called Barry. Ridiculous, but
it was called
so
Bart,
far so good. Yeah, because it was that I look like a T too, but
yeah. I mean, this whole season of The Flash has been one that I've enjoyed marginally, but it's been like everyone said, it's been one that is pretty much hit and miss because it's been a crisis one. I think my favorite episode probably was the one where Killer Frost wanted to live her own life and actually have a birthday party, and that episode was just a lot of fun to watch. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard at so much.
I had a question. Oh, after when you finish, sorry.
Yeah, and with last week's episode, my theory for how I thought Gypsy was going to be revealed by dying was that it was going to be revealed that Earth-19 was destroyed, which I would have loved to see more Danny Trejo in the Flash sort of going on and actually being in Crisis, which he may still pop up in Crisis, who knows? But I mean, it's not like I think he's going to need some help because from what I understand, his powers don't work like they used to. But yeah, Richard, what were you going to say?
My question is the Flash time different from the Arrow, because Arrow had that few months pushover when Felicity gave birth and left on a journey? Because they haven't mentioned once about the incident with Earth 2. They don't realize the fact that Earth 2's gone yet. If not, or is Earth 2 still there during their time, what we've seen so far?
I was getting there.
Oh, sorry.
But what is about?
Segue.
I mean, what I was about to say is the premiere episode of Arrow was on the second was the same time as the second episode of The Flash. When Flash went back to Jay Garrick's Earth, when Jay showed Barry the map of all the things, you can see the big red arrow pointing to Earth 2, which made and then the coincidental fact that Earth 2 is the first one that they chose to destroy in Arrow. There was a kind of perfect pairing of episodes that they actually had for that, because where the timeline is, I think it's happened in real time. So I think from where Arrow started and from where it flashes, I think they planned that because of that, so that they both get into crisis at the same time. And I think it's just a case of no one's told them because the people that were on Earth 2 haven't come over to the Flash to sort of mention it to them. I think it's a case of Jay suspects that something is going to happen to Earth. Jay knows that something's going to happen to Earth 2 eventually. He just doesn't know that it's happened.
Now,
and I think
was this the vision that Vibe saw in season 2? When Vibe saw Earth 2 being destroyed, or
he
Central
did.
City?
Yeah, that's right. God, good pull.
Honestly, I didn't. I completely forgot about that. Cisco saw a vision, so quite possibly because I mean, and I mean, we'll probably talk more about this when we get to Arrow as well. But we don't. I mean, we don't know what's happened to Jesse Crick or Harry or any of the Flash characters that would be on Earth 2. We only know the Arrow side of things, and I think they've kept it open ambiguously like that, so that just to keep us wondering, was like, are they alive or are they dead? Are we actually going to see them in the crisis? It's so many questions because of that we don't know, but that does slightly lead me onto another thing is what does everyone think of the new Rails, Nash Rails? Zedius, I'll start with you.
Yeah. I feel like this week's episode was probably the most we've gotten to know him, and he was trapped in the mind with Joe, kind of due to his own misgivings. He's all right. I feel like, again, Tim Kavanaugh, I don't think can do no wrong, but this character so far is just kind of like he has some kind of mode, but he's not being 100% truthful at all to anybody. So, and now he's about to string along the team, saying like, "I have a way that we can save Barry Allen." I'm like, ha ha ha. I don't quite trust it, and I'm wondering, is this the character of Nash Wells? Is he going to end up being the pariah because he's looking for the Monitor for some reason, and what is that reason? So I feel like he's going to stick his nose in some type of business that he doesn't belong in, and something's going to happen. So I'm intrigued by him, but so far he's just meh to me. I want bring back Eobard to me. Anytime Kevin, that's the one I want. I'm sure I know we'll see him later for the crossover.
Yeah. I mean, Nash Rails is just one of those ones which I think he's just they just threw him in. There's like, we need to give Tom Kavanagh something before he becomes a pariah. It's like, I know, we'll go. Let's call him Nash Rails. I don't know if it's an actual Rails, but we'll go into the Rails and bring out Nash Rails because why not? Let's have him look for Eternium, which is a Shazam reference, but we can't use Shazam, but we can reference the Rock of Eternity. So I mean, it just feels like he's just there so they could give him a reason to be there. I kind of wish they just had him be pariah straight off the bat, and as you said, this might be the one that becomes pariah later. But Richard, what do you think of Nash Rails?
I mean, he's okay. He just kind of reminds me of Harry from Earth 2 and H.R. Wells just mashed together. Like, his personality kind of meshes in there. I mean, it's kind of like he's trying to be like a knockoff Indiana Jones type of person. You can tell. And like, he's okay. Like, he's done other, like, I've liked his other Wells. Personally, like his other Wells. Like, I like when he goes all out. This one's just like, I mean, it hasn't really, I haven't got attached to him like I have previous Wells.
Agree. I'm a Sherlock, actually. Sherlock.
Bring back Wells the Grey. But yeah, I mean, my final thoughts of this has been, it's been an okay show. It's been pretty much crisis prep with Bloodwork sort of being the main villain, sort of there for this section. I don't know what they've got planned for the other villain, because it could be the reference that we got in the premiere of Godspeed. But once again, I don't know if that was just because of the message that was playing on a loop before it was destroyed, or who knows.
Yeah, that was really weird. Like, it was a different Godspeed. It wasn't even that Godspeed. Like, well, I don't know. There has to be something more to that than just like, because that was just the weirdest thing. If you want to bring in like a throwaway villain, bring in Mirror Master or something like that.
Yeah. Zeddy, do you have any final thoughts on the Flash?
Again, it's been so far so. Actually, I think it's been so far so good in regards to Crisis Prep. I am looking forward to when they find out about her too, because there should definitely be some emotions coming from that team, because we dug deep into Earth 2 with in season 2 of the Flash. So I really can't wait to see what happens when they learn that, and I'm pretty sure it'll happen. It'll probably be at Catalyst, like right before Crisis or something like that they'll learn about it. But I'm okay with where the season's going so far. Literally, Tuesday night is literally my favorite night of the week right now because of the Flash and our next great show.
Well, I was going to add Richard for his final thoughts first, but
I mean, again, it's good. Like, I think out of the 4 shows right now, it's the second best show this season. It's going strong. I'm looking forward to when they find out about Earth 2, because everyone's going to cry about Deadshot and how he passed away. R.I.P. Deadshot can never shoot a thing, because he was a detective in Earth 2. That was kind of a joke.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be like now. As we get closer to Crisis, the show's gonna get better. I can already tell.
But now we move on to the next show, which I've subtitled "Arrow Likes Blowing Up Earths." Well, only Earth 2, but still. But yeah, I mean, with Arrow, like, it's hit us a lot, because especially when we've got a lot of references to the past shows. Because I mean, we had Earth 2 versions just about everyone with I think it's Adrian Chase that was the Green Arrow. Yeah.
Well, the Arrow.
Yeah. Oh my God, such a great moment. Sorry, go ahead. He was just the Arrow at that point. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. But then we had the return of Tatsu Yamashiro, which is Katana. Then we get Fear comes back in the next episode, and the League of Assassins and Athena and all that. And then, which also led to Mia and William meeting Oliver again, but not the William we think. It's the William from the future. But Richard, what do you think of how the season Arrow has been going?
It's the best season by far this season. Like, out of the other 4 shows, this is the season. Like, Arrow is winning by a long shot. Like, the first episode this season was probably the second best, or if not the best episode, like opening episode, like episode 1 of like either Arrow or the CW. It was so good. I mean, like, everything's been entertaining. Like, the urgency is family from Earth 2. I mean, it like, I think the character wise, like, the story is really good. I mean, it's been so good, and the ending, every single like ending of the episodes have been like, holy F. Like, I've been loving it.
Yeah. And going down the highlights, I've thought of a new subtitle for Arrow. Arrow takes a stroll down memory lane, which is pretty much what it is. Zedius, what do you think of this season of Arrow?
I could talk. We could spend the next 50 minutes talking about episode 1 alone, man. But I feel like Arrow season 8. This is the producers and everybody's way of saying, "Listen, I know we've had some rough season, guys. Y'all stuck with us through season 4, season 3, season 7. You stuck with us through that back half. You with this name. You said that they're taking is is pretty much like a recap show, right? It's not a recap show. It's like more like a reunion show. We brought back Susanna Thompson, John Barrowman in that first episode, Adrian Chase, so many great characters from Arrow Past, and it was good to see Colin O'Donnell back, even though he was the Dark Archer, which I thought he should have been all along, but that's neither here nor there. But a good Dark Archer, and to have the brass balls to destroy Earth 2 just like that was amazing. Oh my god, I loved it. I'm like, that was literally an oh my god moment. Then when it happened, and I loved it. And again, next episode we go back to see Tatsu or Arrow's friend Katana. She has his back, all that jazz. It's been it probably, I think the ending of episode 3 was probably my favorite. Just I rewatched that on loop, like just by going back, just how Mia's like, Dad, and like it's great just in seeing William embracing his dad just like that. And you know what? Pause. When that moment when they were talking in the house last week, when William decided to come out to his dad, and obviously just had a slight smile, like, yeah, buddy, I know, like we know, right? Like it was just such a heartwarming moment because you can see that William for some doubt that his dad might ostracize him or something, or might he didn't know how to tell his dad about this, and just how Oliver's like, buddy, we know this. Me and Felicity, we both know. Like it didn't matter. That's his son. He was so happy to see his grown up son.
It's like, William, you're not fooling anyone. We knew.
Exactly. And it was just a great moment. There's been great moments of the show so far. And great character moments. I think that's been the thing. He said goodbye to his mom, which is something he never did in season 2, which again, that's my favorite, might be one of my favorite episodes of Arrow. So I see it going nowhere but up.
But yeah, this season of Arrow, I've been just loving it. And just the whole way that they brought out Earth 2, they destroyed it in that same episode. It took me for a loop for a bit, because like, wait, because they've destroyed that, what does that actually mean for the Flash going forward? And I mean, one thing that I actually kind of read up on is they actually had to ask the showrunners of the Flash permission to be able to destroy Earth 2. It's like, do you have any plans for Earth 2? Do you mind if we destroy it? And it's like, yeah, and they got
I wonder if Flash asked Arrow permission. Do you mind if John Diggle has a son instead of a daughter? For revenge.
I mean, my biggest gripe ever.
Well, I mean, with that one,
we change sex of our baby, we destroy it, we boom. Evens out.
That was a trade-off.
You know what's really sad though? I feel bad. It was John Diggle's first time on another Earth, and that Earth gets destroyed. The moral of the story: John can't go to other Earths. He's not allowed. He's the destroyer of Earths. John Diggle.
Ooh.
But yeah, and the next episode of Arrow is going back to Russia, so we're probably going to see Antoli again.
Yes, my boy Antoli.
And so it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, as they say, it's like when you've got a crisis happening, you can't take days off. But apparently, Arrow and Flash are finding a time to just relax on a beach next week, because there's no Arrow Flash next week. So, they take a break for some reason. I don't actually know why. But yeah, Richard, any final thoughts on Arrow?
I mean, Arrow's been the best. Like I said, best show. Every episode has been super good. There's been super funny moments. My favorite moment of episode 1 is when Oliver's trying to escape from the car from John Diggle driving. He's like, "You fooled me once, Oliver."
Yes.
Like, no,
it was,
I mean,
it was like it was at that moment. Go ahead.
The one thing we didn't mention is the fact that apparently in Earth 2,
it's had great character moments, and like it's been like I think so far perfect wise when it comes to like the season.
Yeah, I mean the one thing we didn't mention about the premiere is apparently in Earth 2, Oliver murders Batman.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. I'm not sure if it's Oliver that does it or that's a very good point because we do.
Well,
see
the point is,
there is one other question I wanted to have out. Is Oliver's father in Earth 2? I mean, he's probably dead now, but in season 2, Oliver's father was revealed to be the Hood in Earth 2. They didn't mention that. Like, I don't know if like maybe they forgot, or because technically Oliver's father was still technically alive and on Earth at that time before the Earth 2 went boom boom, because he was in jail. Because he was revealed to be.
I mean, I think that's going to depend on, because we're talking about timelines earlier about where Earth 2 was in relation to the Flash.
Well, yeah, but
we don't know what
like the timeline.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you're getting at. We don't know. It's safe to assume that this is the Earth 2. It's safe to assume that it's been moving on at the same speed. So it's the Earth 2 from where we are now. So his father is probably dead now, and Adrian just took up the mantle. But once again, we still don't know who murdered Batman, and that could explain why Batman's been missing for 3 years, because he's been murdered on Lian Yu.
Well, Batwoman's on Earth 1. It takes place on Earth 1.
I know. It's my joke I tried to set up. Batman just randomly traveling to Earth 2 for some reason. They're getting murdered, which is why he disappeared for 3 years, and we never see Batman again. Because he traveled to Earth 2 for some reason. They got murdered.
I just assumed it was Oliver Queen from Earth 2. Like, he was already taking the Batman villains. Might as well make him Batman on Earth 2.
That's very true too, because I guess Oliver probably is dead on Earth. Is most likely, because Oliver died on Earth too. And that's what made Papa Queen become.
That's what I think. That's why they mentioned that when he meets his mother. But Zedius, any final thoughts on Arrow from this season?
Again, it's been my favorite show all along, even through its up and down seasons. And my God, has this show had it. But and I feel like, again, like I said in my beginning, this show is pretty much our way. I feel like this show is saying thank you for sticking with us so this long, and like hopefully this is justifying your faith and being a fan of us for so long. And this season's been great, as Richard said, the best one of the 4 core Arrowverse shows. And I think the sky's the limit. I love that moment that Richard mentioned when it was that moment when you realize, oh, this is not just a Diggle, this is our John Diggle. Like, it was great. It was just a feel good moment to where from that great moment to seeing the story, into seeing Earth 2 destroy, and another person that I don't think has, again, I've talked about in the past on other shows, but again, I think Katie Cassidy Rogers, I think that's her last name now, is doing a great job as Earth 2 Black Canary. And again, to see where she started off with in season 2 as being Black Siren and one of Zoom's lackeys, to where she is now, it's like a complete 180, and I'm loving this character. It's amazing how much I love Earth 2 Black Canary Laura Lance than I did like Earth One's Black Canary Laura Lance. I feel like they didn't do the character justice on that. I think she's doing a great job on this show so far, and I'm very interested in wondering what that tease is that we got towards the end of the last episode with the monitor saying that to get your Earth back, you're gonna have to destroy. You're gonna have to betray Oliver Queen, which kind of makes me wonder. Also, a question I have: is this the monitor that we've been seeing all along, or is it? Or could we possibly be seeing the anti-monitor in some of these things? Even though I know he has a different look, but who knows if he has some type of shape-shifting powers or not?
Yeah, I mean, that's something I was going to touch on about later anyway. But yeah, for this season of Arrow, it's really tough to know sort of who is the monitor because I mean it's safe to assume that the monitor's got a way, the anti-monitor's got a way to sort of hide his appearance, and that, and I think that's what the big arc for this season of Arrow is going to be, is like, can we trust this guy who's telling us to get all this stuff? Because Bazel's his whole reason for going to Nanda Parbat to try and find out more information about the monitor. So and that it's, and with that veil at the end is like, if it's the monitor, well, it's like we clearly can't trust him if he's going to if he's telling Lowell to betray him. So yeah, it's one that we don't really know what the plan is. ZS has got a fort.
Yes, and I just thought about this. And again, it reminds me of how he was so kind of callous to destroy Earth 90 last season and on the Elseworlds crossover. And we know that this past week they were working on some kind of component to destroy the monitor. What if Team Arrow trying to destroy the monitor is exactly what creates the anti-monitor? And even though we've seen Earth 2 already destroyed, again, it easily could have been the monitor that destroyed it, especially if he can bring it back. But what if that's what, like, maybe like it splits him apart to become the monitor and the anti-monitor, or makes him the anti-monitor? Because I think we've seen pictures where he's like where Lamont Kagera is like kind of like a ghostly looking figure or something like that. Looks still strong, but like just with a white Thanos face, which he does. Come on, guys.
It's the green. It's a green Martian and a white Martian having a baby and been adopted by Thanos.
Exactly. Very true.
That's how when I saw the picture, that's how I said it's like a green Martian had a baby with a white Martian, and then Thanos adopted.
But I feel like that could also.
I really wish they used their anti. Just such. I'm gonna say that name. I'm sorry. Monitor anti-monitor is dumb. The name is dumb.
Yeah, just call him Marnovu. I wonder what Marnovu and then anti-Marnovu. Maybe he'll have a better name than Marnovu.
Marnovu and Deja Vu.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely interesting one the developments will probably be appear more leading up to Crisis. But yeah, but talking about Crisis, it's definitely shaping up to be thing was we've had a lot of exactly, and I mean it's kind of like when it comes to the crossovers, like it always seems to be like every second one I've always enjoyed a lot more, which explains why Elseworlds was kind of a low bar. It's like with all the cameos they're throwing in here, everything that they're throwing into this Crisis, it shows why they chose to make Elseworlds just a smaller scale kind of crossover, because now they've got all these cast members that I don't even know if they're going to know what to do with it. Yeah. A lot of rumored people that are appearing, which I have no idea, because I mean the Titans are supposed to rumored to be appearing in the series.
Titans is a rumor.
Lucifer apparently has been seen on set.
That was giddy.
I mean, I don't watch Lucifer, so that's kind of like over my head, but it's gonna be good. Like, I've liked every crossover except for one, which was the Vandal Savage one. That was my least favorite out of crossovers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all the other crossovers were great. I was like, how are they going to top Crisis on Earth X? And then after we saw Elseworlds, I'm like, oh, they're going to fucking top it.
Yeah, I kind of wish they did more of Elseworlds. Really, not just have Oliver and Flash switch bodies. I thought they'd do a lot more of that, but well, switch bodies or whatever.
Oliver with the Supergirl outfit.
That was hilarious. Oliver was Supergirl. Actually, Barry has to figure for Supergirl.
I was so bummed. I was hoping when they did the Arrow episode, when Flash was Arrow, I was like, they could have done the Arrow musical. When Grant was Arrow, they could have had the musical episode.
I mean, they could have done a lot more, but apparently all Deegan wanted to do is switch Oliver and Flash together. He didn't care about any of their side characters. He just thought, oh, he'll keep all these side characters the same, like not switch their minds. But it would have been hilarious having Cisco having Diggo be like Cisco and being the tech genius. And
what I would have liked is like when Oliver was the Flash, instead of having Nora, you would have William, future William, be, XS.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that would have been.
A lot of missed. Apart from talking about missed opportunities from Crisis, missed opportunities from Elseworlds, but Richard, do you have any sort of expectations for anything that hasn't been announced that you would like to see in Crisis?
Expectations. Wow. Oh. It's gonna be like, I just want to see the interactions with all, like, with the Arrowverse, with all the people who are making the cameos. Like, can I list some of the ones who are going to be in it for sure? Confirmed. Like, you have Kevin Convoy. He's going to be in it. You're going to have the actress who played in Birds of Prey, who played the Huntress. She's been confirmed. That'd be interesting having her there. Just the interactions. Like, finally seeing the interaction with Black Lightning, since he's going to be in there. And again, it's gonna be great. I don't know how to, like, I just want to see Tom Welling, interacting with Brandon Roos, Superman. It's gonna be like, how they tie together.
Yeah, and also apparently we're going to sort of find out what Tom Welling Superman's been up to sort of since Smallville's been finished. So we're probably going to get some references from the comics, from the season 11 comic that they did. So
there is one thing I do want to happen. Like, Winn is supposed to come back sometime this season. I want him to come back for Elseworlds because I want the Winn-Cisco interaction. We got in the musical, but that didn't really count because that wasn't really them. I want that interaction. Winn and Cisco.
I think that they are planning on Jeremy Jordan to come back for the crossover. It wouldn't surprise me if the whole Legion team from the future comes back as like, and they sort of go like, we need to get you out of here because there's something going to happen, which is another thing which could lead to my theory about Supergirl's Earth being destroyed as well. But Zedius, do you have any sort of expectations?
So many expectations, but I feel like with 5 episodes to play with this year, I expect it to be great. Again, every cameo that's gonna be doesn't need a full blown like moment. They don't need their own character moment. Again, if Barry is running down the street and we see Burt Ward, which we've seen pictures of, just on the street, like, wow, that's really fast. Like, it will be cheesy, but I like it. That'll be cool. The most thing I'm looking forward to is I can't wait to see how Tom Welling is gonna fit in this universe. I'm seeing it in my head already because I know Tom didn't like I'm saying it like I know Tom like personally, but I know he wasn't a big fan of being in the suit back in the Smallville days. So I feel like we'll probably just see him more or less in like Clark can get up or something around either on the farm or maybe we'll see a Virgin Metropolis, and it'll probably be him and Erica meeting Bitsy or Elizabeth Tulik and Tyler, Lois and Clark. I'm just so excited for it. Like you mentioned, Tom Ellis is rumored to possibly be in it, and even though Lucifer has a complete different tone than these shows, but it's very comical in nature, and we could throw a bone to Lucifer, and there's so many rumors with Titus and stuff being there. But there's one thing I really want them to happen in this crossover crisis, one way or another. John needs his ring. I don't care if it's Ardigo, and I think it could very well be Ardigo because we know by right he is technically John Stewart, even though his last name is Diggle. His stepfather's name is Stewart, and that's the name his mama got. So that should be his somewhat name also. So, and we've already seen Earth 90s Barry I think it was Barry come back and say, "Where's your ring, John? I want to see John stood up as Green Lantern." And I know they're having a Green Lantern show for HBO Max, but we don't really know too many details about that. And maybe this is his way of David Ramsey's way of possibly being spun off into that. Now we don't need a green CGI suit with like laser tubes running down it. Please no. Make it just something sleek like they've done for all these shows. Because I think the costumes for these shows, with the exception of Supergirl season 1, I think the costumes of these shows have been been very realistic and pretty tight. Like not tight as in tight fitting, but very cool. Like I think I can't think of a bad costume that I've hated so far in any of these shows.
Season 5 of Flash. That was my least favorite one.
Well, I was fine with it. Yeah,
that suit was ugly.
But like, I could see them doing great justice with a Green Lantern suit, and especially if it could possibly lead to David Ramsey being Jon Stewart on the Green Lantern show on HBO Max. So that's probably the thing I'm looking for. Besides interaction with Tom Welling and this Arrowverse and this multiverse, I'm looking forward, hopefully, to seeing John get a ring this year.
Yeah. Also,
I'm sorry. Something that we didn't touch on. I just remembered it. What is Lila? I wonder, is Lila dead? Is the Lila that we've known dead, or has Lila been the Harbinger all along? Overall, because it just completely, I completely forgot. But she's working with the Monitor, and like that has major implications. That could have major implications.
I know for a fact Lila has a huge role in the crossover. That's all I know from that. Or she's having a huge role in the crossover.
Well, I mean, with what's been happening with Arrow, there is that scene of her coming to the Monitor, and some people have said that they saw her in red boots and the start of her Harbinger get up. So I think it's she's been worked for the Monitor all along, because I think I believe that the creators have said that this whole Harbinger thing is just with the announcement of her being Harbinger in the crossover has proven that they've been leading up to this crossover ever since they started the Arrowverse altogether. So the Crisis, by the sounds of it, Crisis is going to be the Arrowverse's end game, so to speak. It's just something they've been working to for ages, just been slowly building up to it, which is going to lead to what the back half of the Flash will be like. But the final sort of thing I'm going to talk about here is we've gotten an official word that Superman and Lois is going to be a show. Apparently, they couldn't just call it the event. The new Adventures of Lois and Clark, but they just had to go Superman and Lois. And they've also got that Canaries show, which I really wish they come up with a new name for that, not just call it the Canaries. It sounds like a animated show about birds.
Maybe Birds of Prey 2?
Maybe Birds of Justice.
I would love for them to do another try for another Birds of Prey series. But what do you
Nia
think?
and Friends.
But what do you think of both the Canaries and Superman and Lois being sort of new shows that we're going to get? Potentially, one of them might be, depending on how fast it takes for them to get working on one, because for all we know, they've been working on one this whole time, and one of them is going to take the place of Arrow once Arrow finishes next year. But what do you think of these shows, and is there any other sort of ones you think should be shows? Sadius, I'll start with you.
Well, I mentioned some other things. Like one thing that has completely surprised me since his introduction in season 2 is how much I like Tyler Hoechlin in his role of Clark Kent and Superman. And maybe it's because I watched him on Teen Wolf at first as Derek, and like completely different characters. But I guess I was kind of projecting him as Superman earlier in the series, but I really like him, and he has a lot of charisma as both Clark and as Superman. So I'm looking for, and I think Elizabeth Tullet has been a good Lois so far, and I like their chemistry together. And we know what's going on with them now. It's supposed to be there on Argo City, having the baby, but a baby. That's not what I want to say, but I'm looking forward to that show. I really am. It's a new Superman show for the ages because and even if we have a Superman movie in the future, like don't take this show away from us. I think it's going to be a great show by a good actor, great actress, and great actor. I think it will be a good show that we have on our hands. And as far as Canaries, again, let me say we forgot to mention this also. R.I.P. to Zoe, but just maybe she'll be back for this Canary show because I really like what Andrea Sistos was doing as Zoe, as future Zoe. I actually like the future kids this season period, but I look forward to. I love Earth 2's Laurel Lynch, and maybe I just need to just call her Laurel now and stop referring to her as Earth 2 Laurel, but because there is no Earth 2. But I really like her. I love Juliana Harkavy. Juliana and Mia Catherine McNamara has actually grown on me, even though she might not be a Canary because she's not. But who knows what the future kind of holds for her after Crisis and everything? Because I think things will change. But I'm interested. I'll be watching any of these Arrowverse shows, like as long as Greg and Mark and everybody gives us these Arrowverse shows, I'll be watching them. And again, as far as other shows that I may want to see. Again, I love to see a John Stewart based Green Lantern show. But again, I would also like to see. I know DC Universe / HBO Max has like the Titans franchise, but I don't know what it is, but I would love to also see a Blue Beetle show. I'm sticking to my guns with seeing a young Jaime Reyes with the Blue Beetle Scarab. I think they could do it very well. And even bringing Ted Kord in some way, I think it would be a good show. So I think the future of the Arrowverse is very bright, even though we have two shows one show that's going away and another show that's kind of up there in age, which is Flash. So this is season 6 for the Flash, I think. So great show, great show. They're all going great, but I think the future is bright.
I completely forgot this was the 6th season of Flash.
Let me make sure I think it's
It is the 6th season of Flash, which is going to make this, which is why I'm going to make this joke. I wouldn't be surprised if after the season of Flash they decide to cancel it, and then they make Grant Gustin the Flash in the movie, replacing Ezra Miller, and then the Flash will have 6 seasons and a movie. Good old community reference.
Small. That would be interesting, but you know what? I feel like DC, if they're smart, they see the potential of this, of what's going on with Crisis and stuff. it's so obvious that everything that's happening, and I think even I can't quote anybody, but I think the powers that be at DC have said that they're kind of approaching the movie universe kind of as two different universes. With Joker being one universe, movie. Yeah, I said it. And the Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of Harley Quinn happening in another universe. I think that's how DC's looking for it. Look at it right now. It's just part of the greater multiverse. Don't call it Earth 1, don't call it Earth 2, whatever. But just appreciate those two universes that you have, and appreciate our universe that we have. Because again, even though he was a villain, I miss Deadshot and what they did with him. So like, he had a redemption arc. So leave our universe alone with the powers that be. We're fine. The water's fine. Y'all deal with your messed up universe on one side and try to redeem the Suicide Squad, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
sorry.
rant
over.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that because they're probably not going to cancel the Flash unless something major really happens with the Flash movie. I don't think we're going to lose the Flash anytime soon. Just like I don't think we're going to see the Flash movie anytime soon. Because
they have to recast the Flash. Ezra Miller's done with it.
Yeah, I think he said he's done. So, again, Grant could be the Flash in the Flash movie. I'll take it.
We don't need a Flash movie. Why do we need a Flash movie?
It would be cool if we saw to speak of Crisis on Infinite Earths, just if we could possibly see Ezra Miller. What if Ezra Miller is the Flash that dies in Crisis? Just ties a whole nice little bow on the whole Flash movie. Yeah, that would be amazing.
And the anti-monitor turns out to be Henry Cavill CGI mustache.
But we kind of got thrown off course. But just like most TV shows, they'll take a course correction. And Richard, what do you think of the Superman and Lois show and the Canaries show?
I'm looking forward to the Superman and Lois show. I really like Tyler. Like Z-Man said, I loved him in Teen Wolf. I loved him actually when I first saw him in 7-7, but that's a completely different thing. He's great as Superman. I have a feeling this show's going to get a lot of super praise. It's also going to get a lot of hate because there are fans of Supergirl, and I feel like people will be like, "Oh, you guys don't like Supergirl, so you just want to put Superman." Blah, blah, blah. For that show, I just got to seeing too much of her because 2 episodes of her. It's not enough to get more. I'm looking for. She's done a good job so far. Need to see more to give my actual opinion of her. And then as for the Canaries, I don't know what the show's going to be because the fact now what the current storyline is, I don't know if it's going to be the same Mia or if it's another Mia from whatever course of action, because I have a feeling with the Canaries is going to be, it's not going to be the Mia that we know right now. I don't think, I'm one of the few people that I don't think Oliver's going to die. I think somehow they're going to change that feature. That's my theory, and it's going to create a new timeline where it's going to be a different Mia, different Laurel, different Dinah. It's going to, either way, I do believe Zoe's probably going to come back, and I don't know what the Canaries is going to be, if it's going to be the same Mia we know currently on Arrow. I think it's going to be a different timeline. Because the timeline's going to change, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
very well could be.
I think because I think from the current timeline is Flash supposed to be Flash dying. I think unless Zedius's theory is correct, and it's going to be a different Flash that dies, and not Barry Allen, then that's yet to be seen. But I think the way Crisis is probably going to go is Oliver, is the way it's setting up, is Oliver's going to make the sacrifice to die instead of Barry. If they have it being the Barry Flash, that's going to die anyway. But I think if Zedius's theory is correct, then it's going to be the John Wesley Shipp Flash or Jay Garrick or something like that. Mm-hmm. Then I think that's where Oliver survives. But I think with the Canaries show, because I think, from what I've read of it, I think they are planning for it to be Mia, Lowell, and Dinah, and I think it's going to be a case of I think Mia and that's going to stay in the future or in the past. And
they're going to stay in the past.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
I mean, we don't. I mean, I think at this stage we don't know what's going to happen after Crisis with it, because Mia might decide to stay in the past, which is going to cause a lot of complications, especially when it comes to seeing her own self grow up. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and also, as I predicted on one of the episodes of Cross the Nerfplex back in the day, Emily Bett Ricketts is coming back for the final of Arrow. So
yeah. So this is like the point where like I think we need the meme of Hulk going like time travel because I'm all confusion.
But yeah, I mean, my theory for the potential Canaries shows, it's going to be like Mia, Lowell, and Dinah. Maybe a little bit in the future, training the Zoe that is currently on Earth 1 into the Zoe that they know in the future. Even though the future itself will be a lot maybe different. It's one of those ones that I really don't know sort of what's going on and what's going to happen. That's because I think they've already formed the backdoor pilot for that show. It's just I don't know what episode that's supposed to be.
You know, it's funny with all the confusion we're having on the old show. The fact that Legends of Tomorrow is the most sensible show is kind of scary. Because that show every season gets all over the place, but we understand that more than we do with all what's going on in the other shows.
Yeah, and also one other question, which could possibly end up being another show that we see in the future. Didn't they on that episode whenever they went back? Well, not to Lillian you, but to Nanda Parbat, wasn't Mia and Talia gonna form some kind of super team, like a team?
Thea and Tala.
Yeah, a team of superheroes, or no, a league of heroes or something like that. You think that could turn out to be a spinoff?
No. I would love to see a Thea spinoff. I would love to see a spinoff of Thea. I feel like she's been a very underrated character throughout the whole Arrowverse show. Like she's had such a huge character development, and like the fact that she was wasted the last few seasons of Arrow was like, I understand why she wanted to leave the show. I'm like, she's one of my favorite characters in the show.
I'm actually on the other thing. Like I think because when that happened, when they announced that Phil was going to form their own thing, that seemed like it was a bit of a throwaway line for that to happen. I mean, while yes, in that series, like Fair said, oh yeah, I'm going to call it the League of Heroes. That could ultimately become what we know as the Canaries. So that comic could be connected to that Canaries show somehow, because I mean, for maybe that backdoor pilot, Fair talks to sort of Mia and they're going, and maybe like Fair goes to the future or something with Mia and that, and then we see that whole alternate timeline sort of thing that Richard's talking about, in which Fair's gone to the future and just disappears from current timeline altogether. So
I mean, I know we're gonna get the Mia because she was obviously born, but like my thing is this the same Mia, or is there gonna be another version of her from another future, or like are you saying that she's gonna stay in the past? That was the thing. Like I don't know what's gonna happen to Canary because we don't know what's gonna happen during the season of Arrow, and I'm excited to find that out.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. There's so many theories for what could happen, because I mean, at the moment, it's probably going to be one of three options. Mia stays in the past and watches herself grow up, and then she trains herself to become a Canary. Well, she's herself as the Green Arrow. Fair goes to the future with Mia and all that.
Thinking Mia this current Mia sacrifices herself to save Oliver, and then we just grow up with a new Mia. I mean,
yeah.
It's possible, but I don't think Oliver would allow her to do that.
Well, what I was about to say is we've already seen one future kid sacrifice herself. I don't think they're going to repeat that thing, especially literally a season apart. Because Nora sacrificed herself pretty much for Barry in this last season. Sacrificed herself, so to speak, but we still saw someone's future kid die in the past when they didn't exist anyway. But
we've also seen the Flash 3 seasons of 3 speedsters in the borough, so it's possible.
Well, but yeah, what I was about to say is I don't think they'll do a future kid sort of disappearing again a season apart. If it was a 2 or 3 seasons away, then they did it, then yeah, but I know we didn't talk about Legends, but Legends doesn't exist at the moment. It's not on. But what do we want to see from the Legends when it comes on next year? Because officially, now this is the thing I was looking at. Officially, it comes back as the last part of the crossover, but the actual season of Legends starts the following week with the mockumentary style thing called Meet the Legends. So it's going to be an interesting one because officially the season premiere of Legends is their part of the crossover. Mm-hmm. Well, but the actual season premiere is the week after. But is there anything we want to see are expecting from Legends this season?
I want to see Zari come back. I can't believe they got rid of Zari. That was kind of a shocker to me. I liked her.
And kind of picking back up what Bridget said about that, I liked Zari and the actress who plays her. I think she was a pivotal part of the team, and even though her brother now has her totem, I know she's gonna come back some way somehow. I'm just wondering how they're gonna bring her back, or if her and her brother are gonna end up being some type of Wonder Wind twins or something like that, which I guess could also be possible. But I'm looking forward to Legends. Again, also seeing how they decide to send off Courtney and Brandon, because we do know that they're going to be leaving the show this upcoming season. So hopefully they're not killing them off, but hopefully they just go off into the sunset some way, somehow. So I'm looking forward to it. And then also the possibility of maybe some people that are in this crisis, maybe the Legends team will maybe expand a little bit. I'm not saying that we need an expansion of new members, but I don't think the last new member we had, if I'm not mistaken, was Kenyon Lonsdale for a little bit on the Legends team, and it didn't really work out. And again, he just decided to leave, but which is cool and all. But I would like to see maybe a new Legends, maybe not a whole new Legends team, but maybe a new Legend added to the team some way somehow.
Ralph,
even though
I feel like Ralph would make a good.
Ralph would be good. Ralph would be a good one, but Ralph can't be on Legends if we give him his own show. So
Ralph can be on everything. Bebo of tomorrow.
Oh, and of course we need some type of Bebo back for Legends and for the crossover. If Bebo is how we defeat the Anti-Monitor, everything is right in the world. I'm saying that now. It's all right.
But yeah, this season the Legends are going to be interesting because we got the past events we're probably going to be seeing the evil guys from the past that I can't remember her name now that they traded the souls for. So we're probably going to see Genghis Khan because we're going to be definitely seeing Astra. Because that's the whole premise of this season is Astra's released the souls of a lot of famous evil, despicable guys, and from what I've read in various things, it's going to include Genghis Khan. It's going to include Charles Manson. It's going to include
Charles Manson. Okay.
From what I've
Surprised they
heard,
went
we're
that
going to
route.
get a Charles Manson thing because apparently Charles Manson is hot these days, thanks to certain Tarantino.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, wow.
um, but yeah, the first episode back is, from what I've heard, is the whole documentary thing in which the legends are all famous and stuff. So I don't know how that's going to work, but find out. But I was just looking down the confirmed titles of the various episodes. The eighth episode of this upcoming season of Legends is called Zari, Not Zari. So we're probably going to see something happen with Zari. Maybe she becomes to Zari again because they fixed the. Because she only changed because they messed up the timeline because they never learned from Barry.
Right.
But so yeah, we'll probably see Zoe back, but there's really not a lot we can do to talk about Legends because there really hasn't been much said about what's happening, regardless, apart from the whole Astra thing. But that brings us to the end of this. Zadius, where can people find you online?
Good people, y'all can always find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Zadius Smith. That's ZA2Ds Smith. Or you can find me more specifically on Twitter at D_ZADD or on Instagram at Zadius ZA2Ds. I do movie and TV reviews on the Stardust app. I've done and you can find me on there at Retribution Z, and I've done reviews for the latest movies like Terminator Dark Fate, Black and Blue that just recently came out, and I've been doing reviews for Arrow this season. Again, I love the show so far, but you can I've said some more in-depth things on there, and you find me, of course, on the around here on Multiplex doing trivia on some other shows that I might possibly be on, which I won't say right now. Doing like making lists and checking them twice, but also yeah, I'm all over Facebook sometimes. And then the last thing I'll say is just special shout out to Danielle Pennebaker, which I doubt she's watching this show, but maybe she will. But I believe I saw on Instagram today that she is pregnant with her first child, so congratulations to her. You've been great for us with the Arrowverse community, so wish you nothing but the best.
Which means we can probably expect some creative ways that they're hiding her pregnancy unless they're going to work that into the show.
Yeah, right. And wish you could.
What was that?
Oh, me?
Oh, Zadius started to say something, then I think I cut him off.
Oh, I said wish they possibly could try to find some way to hide it. They're gonna have to find some way to hide it, or maybe work it in. So,
Baby Snow.
Baby Snow, that'd be dope.
Richard, where can people find you online?
They can find me on Facebook under Richard Schwartz, YouTube and Twitter under External Void, where I play WWE Champions Mobile Gaming. And you can find me walking around LA because I still haven't got my car fixed from my accident. So yeah.
And you can find me on Tape 3 Productions, hosting Rankum every week. And tomorrow, you can find me doing Top 12 Disney Villains, featuring Zadius. Will be on it as well as the special guest Rachel Silvestrini from the Schmodown. You can also find me hosting a lot of shows. I do over on Full Metal Random. It's Disney animated match this week. You can also find me all over the place, helping running TV Throwdown, and yeah. Until next week, I don't have a interesting thing for at the moment yet.